Everybody okay so far? Did y'all get y'all a laptop if you needed one? Or if you got your own personal laptop, should be fine. What we're going to do is we're going to show you how to get into Blackboard. Some of y'all probably already know, but the address is Blackboard. Blackboard.lawsonstate.edu. Of course, if you have a little problem, just look up here and watch what we step it through. So all our courses are web supported through an application called Blackboard. First of all, I need to tell you our situation. The instructor that was scheduled to teach this class sent her letter of resignation in 2 weeks ago. So I'm not the instructor for the class. Ms. Wilson will teach you today and probably Thursday. We're in the process of hiring another full-time instructor. We end up with this will be one of the classes that we're going to do. We have to apologize for this, but really this is a situation that is beyond our control. So I'll step y'all through the first part and get y'all set up so y'all can start doing some online work until Ms. Wilson gets here and actually provides y'all with the first lecture. First of all, is everybody in here in Intro to Robotics? Because we have about 3 classes that we're supposed to meet over here. We have ETC 120, which is solid state. Those, if you're in that class, you need to go next door. If you're in INT 118, not 118, preventive maintenance, you're supposed to be over in the Millside building. So this is the login screen for Blackboard. Now, your original login, if you don't have your schedule and you don't know your student email address, then you need to just hold on and look up that information. But your username, if you look at your schedule, your username is the part of your email address before the @ So it's usually your first initial, your last name, followed by, I think, the first 4 digits of your student ID number. It should have been printed at the top of your schedule when you had your schedule. Your default password is your birthday, month, day, year. So 2-digit month, 2-digit day, 2-digit year without any spaces or anything between those. Now that's a pretty easy password to remember, and I just entered the wrong password. So I'm waiting on it to give me an error. Wait, it takes a little while. So one of the first things you should do the first time you log on is change your password. And so we have 2 screens that are pretty close to each other, My Institution and Courses. When you originally log in, it'll go directly to My Institution. And these are the list of the classes that you're enrolled in or previously enrolled in. But what you're looking for right here, it says Personal Information. And then when you click on Personal Information, you need to change right here that says what? Change password. I don't know your password, so what you need to do is use a password that you're used to using. Huh? Oh, script, no. Sorry. Now everybody in the class knows. These right here, this is the list of classes that you're currently enrolled in. And if you've been here to Lawson State, so some of y'all already know how to do this, this is going to grow as you go along. If you're in the associate's degree program or if you've been to Lawson before, this list can be very long. What you can do to reduce the size of the list, and you're not deleting your Blackboard class, all you're doing is indicating what classes will be you want to be displayed, is you can go up here and click on this little gear, And then what you can do is uncheck these classes. Now originally all they're going to do is put some marks out in here. So all you do is you can take these check marks off. See that? And then that class will not be displayed. You're not deleting the course. All you're doing is telling Blackboard not to display that course anymore. If you have access to these courses forever, as far as I know. All you have to do is do the same thing, and you come in and just click on them and bring them back up to your list. But what this will do is it'll mean you'll only see the classes that you are taking this semester, which makes it a lot easier instead of trying to scroll through that list. Unfortunately, when you go to courses, it's going to do the same thing. So courses is going to list all the classes that you've ever taken at Lawson State. But if you want to reduce the list, you can also come up here and when you hover over here, you get the little gear, and you can do the same thing. Everybody okay? So you'd find the course. This is Intro to Robotics, so you should have an AET 116 class in here. And this is the Blackboard site for this course. So what we have here, this is what we call the syllabus brief. So what we do in our department is the college doesn't like us to give out the actual syllabus. We post the syllabus on the Blackboard site. And why we don't do that, our syllabi is around seven pages. If you're taking a full-time load, that means you're taking, four or five classes. We have over 4,000 students enrolled as full-time students in our college. If you multiply that, and if all the instructors gave out the 7-page syllabus, that's going to be thousands of pages of paper we have to use every semester. So what the college does is the college does not give out the Blackboard, does not give out the syllabus. What we do in our program is we give out something called a syllabus brief, which lists the textbooks that you want to do. It lists who the instructor for the class is. Now notice under instructor, what is it? Should have 2 blanks, right, for you to fill in the blank when the person actually gets in to teach the full-time instructor to teach the class.
When we take the syllabus,
you need to put my name. Yeah, Rich Raymond. Yeah. Because that's what y'all are going to be doing today, is taking this syllabus. I'll make sure it's under my name. Or what you probably can do is you can enter Rich Raymond. If it counts it wrong, I'm not going to go out there and do anything about it. If it counts wrong, we'll give you credit for it. So that'll be easier than me going out and changing. Are we okay? So right here, this is the layout. Home page. This will always bring you back to the home page. Announcements. This is very important. This is where your instructor will be posting announcements. Assignments. So we'll look at that real quick. So you have several assignments in this class if it opens. For some reason, I guess everybody's trying to copy their Blackboard site. So currently in this class, we have 5 assignments. And the first assignment is to read the course syllabus, safety evacuation plan for our Bessemer campus, the dress code, in the course information section, which would be this right here. And then what you need to do is you need to take the online quiz for both the safety and evacuation plan and the course syllabus. The assignment must be completed by midnight the first day. The syllabus agreement needs to be done before next class. I'll show you that in a minute. And then send email. Then we got several other assignments that'll be due during the semester. Everybody okay so far? We'll come back to this course content. So what we have is we have a bunch of videos posted up here. We have reference material. Lecture slides, so all the lectures that the instructor will be giving this semester is available to you on Blackboard. We have 2 methods. We can give you the entire, I should have opened that in. we can give you this, which is the entire lecture. Or if you're a note taker, what you can do is you can print off this 3 slides per page. And notice what it does. It shows the slides, and on the right-hand side, it gives you a place where you can make notes during the lecture. And this way, the slides actually make sense. It's up to you. This is an option that we make available to you. Okay. You don't have to print these off, but you can if you want to. Some people do. Also, some reference material from what we're going to be dealing with during the class. We're going to be playing around. You have a glossary up here for robotic terms. So a lot of your tests. One of the main objects of the Intro Robotics class is to basically teach you the language that people that's in robotics understand. And it's very, very important for you to be able to speak the language of your trade. It's just like a carpenter out there saying, okay, throw me one of those boards that's about that big and about that wide. What would he or she wouldn't be in a job very long, right? Because they can't speak the language of the trade. Or if you walked in the doctor's office and he looked at the nurse and said, give him a shot of about that much. And what would you do? You'd find you another doctor, because if you can't speak the language of the trade, right off the bat, the person assumes that you don't know. Right? You understand? So this is primarily a language course. And then, of course, what you play with in here, I needed to bring some of these out, we play around with, not these guys over here, we play around with small little robots. And plus, this is a terminology class, so it gives you something that you can actually see happen when you do that. The other robot that we're going to be playing around with is this guy. This is a Lego robot, and this is really, really cool. This is a true robot. It's what we call a Class D robot, which you'll understand. So this guy is fully programmable. It's got everything that makes this a robot. What's nice about it is you can figure out what robot you want to build. If you've got the parts in your Lego kit, you can do it. You can put it together. So this is 2 of the robots that we'll be playing around with. This is the robot you'll build, but you can buy books on the Lego robot that has all different types of robots. They have competition with the Lego. I don't forgot what they call it, but you have no idea what your robot's supposed to do. You come to the competition, they tell you what it's supposed to do. You're supposed to design your own robot. What we'll do for grading purposes is everybody in the class will build this robot right here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to compete your robot. If you're in the competition, you can modify your robot any way you want to win the competition. Of course, whoever wins the competition gets the prize. And you get graded by the number of competitions. One of the main ways you get graded is by the number of competitions you attempt, right? Because we realize that everybody can't win the competition. So, glossary of terms, robot safety, metric to imperial. What you're going to find out is that there's only 2 countries in the world that still using what we call the U.S. customary standard of measurements, which we use feet, we use miles, we use inches, right? We use gallons. All the rest of the world is using, they call it the IS, or the International Standard, which is basically the metric system. So since a lot of our companies in this area now are not from their headquarters are in another country, and so a lot of these companies that you're going to go to work for uses what system? The metric system. So guys, this is something you really need to start familiarizing yourself with. We made an attempt a few years ago. Some of y'all that's older like me might remember that. They made an attempt to convert us to the metric system. Anybody remember that? If you ever bought an old car during that time, the speedometer has both miles per hour and kilometer per hour. And they came up on the mile markers, the popsicle sticks on the interstate, and they put not only mile markers, they put kilometers out there, markers too. And on all your signs, they gave you distance. It gave it both in miles and kilometers. What they had envisioned was over time they would remove the miles and we would go to what? Kilometers. But people in the United States are very stubborn and we're set in our ways. So you see who won that battle, right? We're back to the inch pounds. And it's good, but you're going to have to learn that. And so these are the reference material that we'll be looking at. Everybody okay so far? There's a Blackboard application for your smart device, Blackboard, which is a free download. So the thing you probably need to do is just try to do that. And it basically splits it up a little different, so it makes it a little easier to go through your course menu and stuff like that. So if you can't do it on this computer, like I said, if you look up here, you should be okay. And when we start doing this, if your computer doesn't work, then what you need to do is go next door and get one of our laptops, and we guarantee they'll. And the username and the password is the same on those computers too. Are we okay? Course content, recorded lectures. Now, whether the new instructor is going to record lecture, which we usually require, right now I'm recording this. We're using a application called Screencast-O-Matic, which, by the way, is a free download for you. If you were interested in recording videos and posting them to YouTube, this would be an application that's nice to use. The only problem, if it's not registered, you're limited to 15 minutes, but most people don't want to watch more than a 15-minute YouTube video anyway. And then you can set you up an account up on YouTube to be able to upload these. We have the registered version, so we're not limited to the amount of time we can record. I don't know how much it costs to register the software. But this is called Screencast-O-Matic, and what it does, it records not only the voice, it also records anything that's on the screen. So you can, if you had the copyrighted version, you could do a lot of things with that. So this would be where the recorded lectures are at, and so this is the lectures that's up there from the from the last time I taught the course. I need to go and I'm gonna make a folder and move these over to the last time it's lectured. So all we do in here is we just put a link to the YouTube video. This is where you go and view your grade. This is where our test reviews will be posted. This is where we actually, they call it practice tests. What we do is the tests in this class are going to be multiple choice and true-false tests. And you'll take them on computer, but you have to do it here, so you can't take the test at home. What we do is when we grade the test, we look at questions that the students in the class are having problems with, and then we put those questions on. So questions on test 1 will move to test 2. To help you go back and review, what we do is we post that test 1 back on Blackboard. And you can go out and you can take that as many times as you want to get ready for the repeat questions on test 2, but it don't count toward your grade. So if you do real well on those previous tests, it's not going to help your grade out at all. Then what we do is when we put our final exam together, we just pull questions off the 3 tests that you've had during the term, and then that's what the final consists of. So how do you study for the final exam? You just go back there and take the previous test, right? You understand? We don't tell you which questions we're going to put on there, but you literally have a copy of the final exam. You just don't know what questions we're going to put on there. And that's what we want to do on the finals. We want the final just to be a really good review for you, so when you move to the next class. I see some of y'all are in the operation and programming class, which starts in October. That class, you actually move over to the industrial robots, which are across Walden. But we teach very little terminology in that class because you're probably supposed to get that terminology in this class, right? Everybody okay? Then this is where you'll actually go take tests. They're all password protected, so you can't take them at home. We don't give you the password until you show up for the test. This is where you can send emails. So what you need to do is any email that you send relative to this class, you need to use this link right here. Everybody understand that? And what that does is that it sorts it into a folder on the instructor's email that is for this class. So it don't get jumbled up in our inbox. It always goes to this class. So if you want to email another student in the class, then you can just click on this. We'll open it in a new tab. And then it shows a list of all the students in the class. And you can just select whichever student you want to go to and move it right here. And then you can email another student in your class. Everybody okay? So you don't have to really know their email address, but you can email it from here. These are Lawson State links. These are Blackboard. These are the relative course links. These are other links that you can access the college. Discussion boards, e-library, support. So this is the Blackboard side. What I'm going to do now is go back up here to what we skipped over. This is first week in course information. So right off the top, what's up here first? This is where you will go take your first week quizzes and agreements. And then this is where the official course syllabus is. If you lose a brief, this is where you can run that off of. And when you look at the official course syllabus, we don't give the time the instructors, the class meets, because that's on the brief, right? You understand that? We don't say who the instructor is because that's on the brief. Course description, prerequisites, what textbook is required for the course. This is the textbook you need to buy. You need to also have a scientific calculator. You need to have safety glasses with side shields or wraparound shields. You need to bring in these batteries. So all our robots use batteries. Batteries have a tendency, when you try to store them, they have a tendency to go down, and then plus we would be buying batteries all the time. So since you're using the robots, we buy the robots, and we just want you to buy the what? The batteries. It's over in the Millsap building, F101. 201, I'm sorry. You know where Miss Wilson's office is at? The Millsap building is, we're going to be writing some programs in here. We don't want you to store your programs on our hard drives on these computers to make, hopefully that makes sense, because if you store them on our media, and that means we got to do one of two things. There, at the end of the semester, I have to go back and delete all of them, because if I don't, then the next class would have those, right? You understand? So we want you to buy a USB, a thumb drive, and then anytime you write programs or do anything like that for your robots, instead of saving them on our hard drives on our computers, we'll want you to save them on your USB thumb drive. Okay? Of course, you need a computer at home that's got internet access and is standard school appliance. Most of the documents that you do in class, we want them to be done in pencil, because we get tired of following road maps. What happens is people do this all the time. They'll do it in ink and they'll make a mistake, and what they'll do, they'll mark it out. And they do something to make a mistake, and then they do mark it out. Pretty soon they're drawing arrows to where the answers are. And it makes it pretty complicated for us to grade some papers. Some of y'all never make mistakes, I know that. So what we do is required in pencil. This is Blackboard. This is, it says you are required to use Blackboard. You're required to check your college email. This gives us basically the layout of what you're going to be doing in the class. This tells you how these things are graded. So every one of them has a certain percentage. This talks about the first week agreements and requirements. This talks about tests. I'll go over this in detail. The rest of it you're going to have to read. Tests. What we do in the class is we give 3 tests. This is an 8-week term, which means we only have 15 classes. We don't have time to give makeup tests, so we don't give makeup tests. but we understand that sometimes things happen and you can't make a day of a test. So what we do is we drop, at the end of the semester, we drop your lowest test score. So that means if you're absent on one day, if you miss one day test, then it's not going to hurt you. If you miss 2 tests in a midterm, you wouldn't pass the class anyway. So we just don't have time to give makeup tests. Everybody understand that? So this test, by the way, your bad test, your lowest score is not dropped to the end of the term. Assignments and homework, we know about that. These guys are due. They have due dates. Normally on these classes, since we use the same assignments every time, we'll say this assignment is due the first week of the term. What class you look for? That's the class. So what we do on the assignments, this is due the first week of the term, the second week of the term, third week of the term. Everybody okay? What we do is in there, we usually make our assignments due on Friday before midnight. But you need to read it. Don't take it for granted. And what happens is that if you don't submit your assignment on time, then what we do is we reduce it 10 points for every day you're charged. All our assignments are worth 50 points. So that means if you turn it in a day late, you'll get how many points for it? If you do it right, you get 40, right? And after the 5th day, guys, then you get a 0. And the assignment will disappear. It won't be displayed on Blackboard. So it's imperative if you want to attempt to get full credit on the assignments that you do what? You turn them in on time, right? Everybody or complete them on time. Required supplies, we've already looked at that. Final exam. By the way, some instructors, for some reason, if you score over 90 on your test, some of them be exempt from a final exam. We don't exempt anybody from final exams in any of our courses. This is the way your grade is set up. By the way, to graduate from your award, you got to have at least a C average. So policy of Lawson State is that if you make it below a C, you have to retake the class. So if you make a D in the class, you still have to retake it. Everybody understand that? Recorded lectures, I've talked about. Attendance, withdrawal. This is another problem that we have problems with here at our college. Is people will stop coming to, they'll stop coming to a class and they don't withdraw from the class. Your instructor cannot withdraw you from the course. That means if you stop coming, what do? They grade you like you're sitting. I mean, if you don't do a lab, you get a what on? You get a 0. If you don't take a test, you get a what? 0. If you don't achieve the assignment, you get a 0. At the end of the semester, you get an F. F's are real hard to get off. You have to maintain a C average. Every class you take at Lawson State, your program counts towards your grade point. You got to have at least a C average to graduate. If you take a class and fail it, and then you come back and make an A on it, then that is a C average for that class. So if you make a B the next time you take it, then basically you got an average of a what? A D in the class. Everybody understand that? So that means it's imperative that if you withdraw, if you stop coming, that you do what? Withdraw. Now, I couldn't get the link to work, but where you would do it is you go to Lawson State's website. And I'm trying to put a link, but for some reason it didn't work down in the Lawson State. And then what you would do is you can come up here to quick links. And then you go down the student link, and we're looking for more student links. And you can do this from any computer that's got internet access. So really, back when I first started teaching, to withdraw from a class, you had to get a piece of paper. You had to take that, you had to put the course you wanted to withdraw from. You had to take that around to all your instructors and have your instructors sign off on it. Now we don't do that. We do this online. So basically, all you need is a what? All you need is a computer that's got internet access on it. You can withdraw from a class. So more links if this ever pops up, guys. And then one of your links is right here is what? E-withdrawal. So you can do this from anywhere. By the way the course is laid out is I need to close some of my windows. We have a course calendar, and it's already laid out. So here's an assignment to do. Here's the last day to withdraw with a partial refund. This is when your first test is scheduled. This is a holiday, which won't affect this class, but it might affect some of the other classes. This is the second test. This right here, last day to withdraw. Last day to withdraw and receive a W on the class. A W is it means if you want credit for the course, you got to retake it, but it don't count against your grade point average. So if you get to the point when it's about time for the third test and it looks like you don't have a chance of passing the course, what you need to go ahead and do? Withdraw from it, right? If you go past the last day to withdraw, you will get a grade in class. That means if you got an F, you'll get a Y. You'll get an F. If you got a D, you'll get a D. That's something you need to consider. Don't base it on the first test. We had a guy that came in, and this has happened to me more than once. Took the test, first test, failed the first test, and withdrew from the class. Came back, took the first test, passed it, took the second test, and failed, withdrew from the class. And then the next time he came in, I said, you need to hang around until the third test. And that way, if it looks like they're going to fail, withdraw then. So he did that and made a C in the class, so he passed it. So what I'm saying, if you hang around for the third test, then the next time you take the class, everything is going to be a repeat, right? You understand? You've heard the information before, so you'll be introduced to it the second time. So that's the course calendar, guy. I forgot to go over that. And then there's a couple more things we'll look at that gives us problems. The rest of it you're going to have to read. Class concerns, this is something new added to the syllabus this year. If you have problems with any of your courses, whether it's this class or any class, then this is the procedure you should follow. What should you do first? Speak to the instructor. If you can't resolve it with your instructor, you're supposed to do what? Talk to the department chair, which is Miss Wilson. And then third, if they don't resolve it for you, then you can submit an official complaint. So I think one of the links in the Lawson State is concerns of the class, and that's where you would go and submit an official complaint. And then they'll provide a board, and they'll come in and figure out what they need to do. Statement of discrimination, harassment. We don't discriminate or harass any of our classes. American Disabilities Act, this basically states if you have a disability, you can't make arrangements with your instructor to provide you a special need or needs, additional needs. You have to get it approved through the ADA department. Cell phones, you want to make sure you do what? To put it on silent mode while you're here. Course calendar. Children on campus, the college does not allow any children on campus. Another thing we have problems with is you letting us know when you come to class or when you leave early. So it's your responsibility. So I'm fixing to call roll. Normally your instructor will do roll the very first of class. The way it usually works out is while the instructor is trying to learn your name, the instructor will call roll. After that, once they learn you, they'll do it without calling roll. If the new instructors like me, once I call roll, I'm through with roll and I'm into the class. Which means if you come in late and I've marked you absent, I'm not going to go in and change it unless you do what? Unless you let me know or let your instructor know that you're here. Another thing you need to do if you leave early, the instructor cannot give you permission to leave the class early, because that means that instructor is liable for you then, right? I wouldn't have had that wreck if the instructor wouldn't let me know. So if you come up and ask the instructor, is it okay, can I leave? What's the instructor going to say? No, right? If you come up and say, Rich, I need to go, then you can go. It's up to you. There's no makeup, in college, there's no makeup, there's no excuse to absence. Except for one thing, if you're in the military, you have to go off to summer camp or something like that during the summer, and we're required by law to let you make up work. And that's the only thing I know of that's considered to be an excuse to absence. Everybody okay? So let your instructor know if you come in late or you leave early. And also, another thing you need to do is we don't profanity in the classroom. We don't do that. Everybody okay? Any questions on the syllabus? Yes, no? So why don't y'all go ahead and take a 10-minute break and come back, and we'll make sure everybody can log into Blackboard. And what we're going to do is let you go ahead and do the syllabus quiz and the agreements in class. And then Miss Wilson's going to teach the class today, and she should be over here. Right now she's meeting the preventive maintenance class. She's not teaching that class, she's just meeting, and she should be over here. So everybody take about a 10-minute break, and I come back and we'll make sure y'all can do this, okay? And then I'll do row when y'all come back. That we're going to do in class, you all have an opportunity to get it done. So check on that. So when you do your password, guys, you need to use the password that you use often, right? Everybody understand that? Because believe me, if you stay out a semester, you come back, you're going to. I was the kind of person when I was in high school, when we go off on Christmas break, I would come back and I didn't know my locker company. I stood in front of my locker and had to try to figure it out. If you're on break and stuff like that, you do what? If you're like me, you just let everything else go by. So when we log into Blackboard, what we want you to do, until Miss Wilson gets over here, is, and I can't call roll in the class, by the way, and Miss Wilson probably can't either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass around a sheet of paper. You're going to sign in. Usually we don't do this, but I don't have access to the software that allows me to call roll. So I want you to make sure you print your name so we can read it. So don't sign it, print your name. Make sure we can read it. Because this is the roll, and then whoever comes in, they get access to that software, then they'll be able to do the roll for you. So inside your first week courses and assignments, and what you need to do is you need to read the course syllabus, you need to read the safety and evacuation, you need to read the dress code, and then when you do that, what you need to do is come up here in first week quizzes and assignments, and you need to take the syllabus quiz. Like I said, let's see. Let me go back and look at the test and see. By the way, we use a texting application called Remind, which is really neat. So what we ask you to do, and it's up to you, this is optional, is that people check their text messages all the time. How often do you check your email for the call? So So what we have the ability to do is we can send a text out. If we send something that's important, we might send a text out that says, check your college email. Or we might send a text out and say, well, cancel class has been canceled. Or we might send a text out and say, okay, this assignment's due, and stuff like that, right? What we can do is if you give us permission to do this, we can sign this up and I can send you text, or the instructor can send you text messages without giving you my phone number. And of course, you have to give me your phone number for me to sign you up. So you're going to get a strange number that pops up. I'll have to show you all that. And when the instructor gets in, we'll try to send you a text so you see what that is. Gives you a strange area code. But we have the ability to text you, and then you can reply to the text, and we get those texts back. You can sign up for Remind, and you can send through Remind. It's a free application, or you can just respond to the text. That's all we can do. That's all you have to do. You can just respond to the text. Then you can keep responding to that same text, and you can send text back, saying, I'm going to be late for class. You might send the instructor email saying I'm going to be late for class, but if you send the instructor a text saying you're going to be late for class, the instructor will know that, right? They'll see it pop up on text. So all we ask you to do when you enter your phone number, give us a number that you can receive text messages through. And then now on the second question, just say, is it okay for us to use that number to send text messages? If you answer no, it's going to count it right. If you answer yes, it's going to count it right. So it's not going to count it wrong, whichever one you answer. But if you answer no, then you're not going to get what from your instructor? You're not going to get text messages, right? You understand that? And down here under instructor, what I'm going to do is I'll change this right now. I'll change it over to my name. So we don't know who your instructor is going to be. Rich Raymond. Then I'll go ahead and update that. So I'm down as the alternate contact too, so you can just answer that for both questions, but I'm not going to enter the class, teach the class, but it'll give you an opportunity to go ahead and do the quiz. Okay? Well, I know what I can do, Don. I can log in under my account, and then you can log into Blackboard under yours. No, you don't know your Blackboard password. Has 9 people taken the quiz already? Has somebody taken the quiz already? Okay. So if you answered my name, you should be okay. Now, once you do that, you need to do the syllabus agreement. Once you do that, you need to go in and do the fire and evacuation quiz. Then you need to do the dress code equipment. And then we need to wait for Miss Wilson to get it. Everybody okay? Question? And she is doing a lecture today.